All right, so welcome back. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Lori.
And together we're
Three Tails RV.
Yes, today we're going to be answering the 10 RV challenge questions. And we're starting right now.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to be a part of the conversation.
So the first question is, what is the funniest RV moment? Go ahead, Lori. You'll like this one.
As we're traveling from Washington into Idaho, we came across some construction. It happens, right?
Normal thing.
However, there were signs posted saying if you were over 12 feet wide, you needed to exit the interstate.
Correct.
So we're thinking we're 10 feet wide, we're under. So we keep going, and as we get a little further down, we find that we're going to be crossing a bridge. And on this bridge, I don't think I moved. I don't think I breathed.
No, you breathed.
Barely.
All I remember was you took a deep breath. And while I'm driving, I'm going pucker, 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 as we drove across that bridge, and oh my God.
You could have reached out my window, you could have reached out Aaron's window, and touched the barricades they had up. It was that narrow.
She sucked all of the air out of the compartment of the RV. And all I could remember saying was, "Did you film that? Did you get that?" Of course.
I didn't.
The GoPro at the windshield wasn't on. So we missed that. So there's one of our funniest moments.
Yep.
How do you get mail, internet, TV, and phone service? So Lori, how do we typically get mail in the RV park?
Well, currently where we're staying, we were assigned a mailbox by the owner of the park.
Right, and some parks do that if you're going to be staying there for an extended period of time. We just had to be work camping. Most places will give you an address, so if you need something mailed to you, they can usually send it to the RV park and then get it to you that way. So
yeah. Well, our internet is wireless internet through the RV park that we're in. It's a service that they provide to the camp hosts as well as all guests of the park.
And what we're using is a King Wi-Fi router and range extender that connects right into the RV. From our RV, it has a router system that's in it, and it goes right into the park. We use a cellular service through AT&T,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and we didn't have any issues with it all the way from Washington State all the way down into Missouri, where we're at now, except for one location.
That would be my hometown. And
Little rural Iowa.
Just a little rural town in Iowa that one area of the town it didn't work, but everywhere else it did.
So the next question is, what made you decide to buy an RV? Or go ahead and answer that one.
Well, we have 10 grandkids in 5 different states.
5 states, 10 grandkids? Are you sure?
I said 10 grandkids, 5 states.
You sure? That's it?
As far as I know, I hope.
Well, there's always Scott, you know.
Well, you know. But we wanted to be able to go and travel and see different parts of the country and not just the humdrum of chasing our tails every day.
Well, that, and I was in the military for 20 years, and in between the different posts that I was at, when you transfer, you go from one post to another one. It's always a big rush to go from point A to point B, and you don't ever really get to see what's right there in front of you. So that's why we decided it was time to make a change. And we did that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the next question is, where do you stay? Do you stay in a state park, RV park, and how much does it cost? On average, it's anywhere between $35 and about $70. Just depends on what part of the country you're in and what kind of a park it is.
Or what time of the year it is, because some parks, let's say South Dakota in the summertime, they actually raise their rates because they know that people are going to be coming out there for vacation.
Yes.
They may say they don't, but they raise their rates. Another thing to consider would be like when we were in Buffalo, Wyoming, where they had a convention that was coming into town.
Yes.
They didn't have any bookings after us, but I know they increased their rates when they were there.
Yes, they did.
After us. So
yes, they did.
It all depends on time, location, and what's going on around there for events and happenings. So make sure you're aware of that when you go. How long have you stayed in one place is the next question.
I think this is the longest we've stayed in one place.
Well, we're camping right now, so yeah, that probably is the longest we've stayed in one place. Before that, I think it was Iowa in Lori's hometown, and that was for a month. And before that, I think the longest was 14 days, and that was in
That would have been in Rapid City.
Rapid City, South Dakota.
There's so much to see.
Yeah, there's so much to see everywhere. You just get tired of being on the road, so for us, we wanted to make it not a vacation, but more about the destination and the people that we met along the way. So that's definitely a part of it.
The next question, how long did it take you to downsize? Wow. For us, the first time, what, 2 months to downsize?
And when we talk about downsize, we went from a 3-bedroom house into a 34-foot RV Class A. So we had a lot of stuff that we needed to get rid of.
Yes.
And that's going to be another topic for another video, and we can go into more detail of that, but it was about 2 months.
Yeah, at least.
And it's a continual process because
Yes.
everything you bring into the RV, there's something else that has to go out because you're living the minimalist lifestyle. The more weight means more miles per gallon, which means more gas spent, which means it just gets more expensive by the more stuff you have.
Yes.
So that brings us to the next question is, what is the average mile per gallon while driving your RV?
That depends on what part of the country you're in.
And the terrain.
And the terrain. If you're in the mountains, it's not going to be very good.
No.
If you get out on the flatlands with no wind, just smooth sailing, it's going to go up by a lot.
So I would say when we were coming from Washington State, went through Oregon, went through the 4 different passes, getting over into the next area, it was probably about 5 miles to the gallon. And then after that, once we got onto the lowlands and flats, it was more like 9 miles to the gallon. How do you keep up with family and friends?
Ooh, that's easy. We all have phones.
Yeah, here.
There's internet,
We-
Twitter,
We call each other, we Skype each other, we
just instant message on whatever we
Yep.
want to use.
it's much easier than it used to be.
Yes, definitely.
So what do we use for health insurance?
Well, thankfully, Aaron is a military veteran, so we use TRICARE health insurance.
TRICARE Prime.
Yes. And that is something that we can go nationwide with and be able to have access to any medical facility that we need.
And I also have the option of going to the VA medical centers anywhere across the nation.
Yes.
They have records are transferable from one state to another.
Yes.
Like right now, I switched everything from Washington State out here to Missouri, so that's what we use.
That is what we use.
What is your favorite RV destination and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think I have a real favorite. I think my favorite of all is the people that we've met along the way.
Well, that's not answering the question.
I just don't have a favorite.
You already
I
answered
do.
this before, and when we did before this, you said exactly what you needed to. And,
Yeah, I
and
can't
now
remember it.
Yeah. Of all the places we went across the country, coming from Seattle back out to the Midwest, and we're now in Missouri. We've liked every place that we've gone to,
Yeah.
but the one that sticks out the most in our minds is,
Rapid City.
let's say, Rapid City, South Dakota, or Buffalo, Wyoming. They both had. South Dakota definitely has more to see, more to do, but we also like the slower pace of Buffalo, Wyoming, because if you're a history person like I am, then there's a lot of history that's right there that you can see, feel, touch, smell, and get involved in. I mean, it's right there for your enjoyment and completely engulfing yourself in. Another place that we both liked was in Midland, South Dakota. There's a KOA there.
Yes.
What I really liked about it was that they actually made pizza. And then on site, didn't order it from somewhere, they made the pizza right there and delivered it to your campsite.
Yes.
And then across the street,
Across the street there was an 1880s town, and when you pulled up, it just looked like a regular plain Jane town, but as soon as you walked inside, it was transformed back to the 1800s.
they had a lot of the movie props from
Memorabilia.
Dances with Wolves
Yes.
that were there. They had the stagecoach that Kevin Costner rode on, and they also had a lot of the teepees. They had a couple of the mock-ups of the horse that Kevin Costner rode in on, Tatanka.
But it also had the buildings of different professions, like the livery stables, doctors, dentists, and just kind of took you back in time.
The sheriff, the mayor,
Yeah.
water towers. They even had a couple of old churches that people actually went there and got married at.
Got married or went to school.
And we had the opportunity to get a ride, a buggy ride with 2 mules, and I cannot remember the name of the mules.
I can't remember them either.
But that gentleman was quite interesting. He had a thing for the girls.
Young girls.
Yes. It was all part of the show.
Yes. But it was fun.
Truly, we've really enjoyed ourselves as we traveled across the country. I think we do have our bucket lists of places that we would love to see, but I think it's more about...
It's more about the people that we've met along the way.
Just working in this RV park, we've met all kinds of different people from all walks of life. We've met people from British Columbia, all over the United States, and even
Australia.
Yeah, we've actually had 3 groups of caravans that came in and stayed at the park for a couple days. So yeah, it's more about the people, not as much about the places, because you make friendships along the way.
And the memories that we keep with us every day.
Yep. So I think that's more important than the destination, but it's part of the journey.
Yep, it is.
All right. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time,
Live simple.
live free.
And enjoy the ride.
And we'll see you next time.